Hey, everybody. This is Esther at the E Spot, and I am here with Steph Sugar. She is a long-term friend of mine, and I wanted her to talk more about her very amazing career as a burlesque dancer. And I want her to fill us in on everything burlesque. So the
I will
stage is
try my
yours.
best.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know if I can do everything in what time do we have? 30 minutes?
We have like 30 minutes, well, 40, but I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
We'll touch the tip of the iceberg
Yeah.
enough to make you curious for more, which is the whole point of burlesque. People will ask me what is burlesque, and I say it is the art of tease. So it can really be anything from just a little shimmy with some pretty props to taking everything off to where you're just in a G-string and pasties, which is the classic bare minimum. But in Canada and like other countries, sometimes they don't wear pasties or sometimes they can be full nude. So it really
It's
just
fully nude
depends.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just depends on the region or the history or whatever. But burlesque is a American made performance that started in 1890, and it came from the British blondes, which were from Europe. And
Okay.
that was, the more of the Parisian style burlesque, more of the cabaret type of stuff. But the way that it started in America is we were chorus girls. It was just like a typical show. The chorus girls would do outfit changes in between their songs. And there was one night that a girl started rushing and taking her skirt off before she left the stage. The crowd lost their mind. The manager was like, "What just happened?"
Do it again.
And then they were like, "Oh, well, we just started changing as we were leaving the stage." He was like, "Well, get out there and do that again." And then they just kept making it more and more of a big deal. They started building more of a storyline with it.
So it's
Um,
like a whole show
and it was a
at
whole
that
show.
point.
And then at that point, they realized, okay, you're not just chorus girls. Like, you guys are doing burlesque. Like, it's an act. And
It
then it
changed
just,
a whole.
yeah, it just went from there. So that's how America, I guess, pioneered it. And then legends like Tempest Storm and Jenny Lee, which is funny. I have this
Well, this is super cool,
Cavalcade.
guys.
I
You
have these
can't
little.
see this, and I am going to post this, but
Yeah, these are some old magazines from the 50s and 60s that photographers basically would collect and go through to study posing, or to study the newest models of the time. So burlesque models were the most important part of kind of the emerging nude photography scene because they knew how to be confident in their bodies and their posing, but they also weren't afraid to pose nude. Some nude models turned into burlesquers and some burlesquers turned into nude models. So it could go either way. Um,
are you in anything like this?
the
I
so I
mean,
am
not
a
like this, but
yeah, so there are different publications out to this day called like Retro Lovely magazine and Bachelor Pad magazine, and they do have different versions. Like the little black book does have topless pictures, and they have submissions that they do every month. So you can, as long as it's like to their themes and pinup stature, they will throw you in there, which is really cool to see. But there's also some online publications such as like Playboy, Penthouse, and Suicide Girls. Those are more of our new age pinup type of
yeah,
companies.
yeah.
Suicide Girls has been around 22 years, and that is the term suicide girls comes from committing social suicide, which back in the 90s was a big deal. If you had tattoos or piercings, you were committing social suicide because that was something that,
Frowned upon.
yeah, people just didn't like that. You wouldn't get a job, you wouldn't get
I
hired.
was just gonna say, everybody was like, "You're never gonna get a
Yeah.
job," and now
And
I'm
now
getting
you go
like my
to,
blood drawn and
right.
my
People, and I think
anesthesiologist.
it was really like EMS and EMT and cops and firefighters that people started realizing, like, oh, they're so hot and they got tattoos. I'm like, yeah, and they're saving your life.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
maybe you shouldn't judge. And I think it really was the medical field that kind of helped people realize, like, it doesn't matter
the
what people
brains
look
aren't the
like. They're saving
tattoo.
my
Like
life.
your head is where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. I'm like, okay, or do they have the training? Are they doing it right? So Suicide Girls was kind of like my intro to being more comfortable with like owning my body, not being ashamed
you
of
started
having
there.
a tattoo, not being ashamed of showing it and stuff
Right.
like that. So yeah, I started out with pinup modeling, and then I went to my first burlesque show here in town, and it was only 2 performances that night. It was at Gothic Winter Ball. And I was just blown away by what I saw. I saw a Catwoman act. It was cute.
That's
But then
awesome.
I saw another performer come out, and she had like this Game of Thrones queen, like a throne, and she did all these epic moves on the chair, and like It was just she had a very ballerina type body, and her movements were just so flowy and beautiful, and I was just obsessed from that point. And I was only a nail tech at that point, and I was like, "Hey, I'll do your nails for free if you bring all your pretty people to my salon." And then eventually they were like, "Why aren't you doing burlesque? You already model, so you might as well just take everything off."
Do you miss
So,
doing nails or never regret it?
I do, but it was just a lot of sitting.
Tedious work.
And I mean, you're like a therapist anytime you do that kind of work. But then also, I've developed like a skin allergy too, so I was just bad. I
It
was
was
just bad
just
about
bad.
it. Yeah, I wasn't washing my hands enough. So I'm just, when you're so busy, and then dealing with the fumes from the glues from our costuming, because we make all of our own costumes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of art projects, but I miss it because it was a good time to like connect with performers and like kind of hear what they're doing and stuff. So I kind of feel like I miss out on that chatty time with everybody, but
So how do you balance your personal life with your, I guess you'd say, your online persona,
yes, cuz
your
I
burlesque
do.
character?
Yeah, so I did start traveling a bit more because, you can only get so far with like any sort of job or profession, and it's like if you really want to expand, you're either going to start doing classes or you're going to start networking with people or you'll start traveling and doing more things. So that's kind of what happened. Was Comic-Con was really like a gateway drug, I guess,
For this,
because yeah, cuz I was like, okay, well these are other girls that dress
I
up
think I've seen you there in the beginning,
at
like
Albuquerque
way in the beginning.
Comic-Con. Yeah. I think that was really what got it going because then you realize, okay, I have fans that are family, it's kids, it's like ages 0 to 99, and you can really like see who's a real supporter or who's a hater or who's jealous or whatever. But then some of these Comic Cons have adult themed like after parties, 18 and up, so we can dress up, we can
And you
do
get to go to those
contests.
too.
Yeah, so I think that was really what did it for me was like, okay, we can blend this world of cosplay and pin up and dress up and
What was your
burlesque.
favorite? Like your favorite?
Harley Quinn was definitely like my top, and I ended up getting like the tattoo like permanently on me.
Side
This
note,
was
I've
actually
known.
at the tattoo fiesta too. We just decided, hey, we should probably just put it on me. But yeah, it was actually Bale from Tattoo Fiesta. He gave me that was my first
When?
time having a
Long time
booth.
ago?
Huh?
Long time ago?
2018,
Oh, cool.
2017. Yeah,
Okay.
long time ago.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
was
yeah,
my
yeah.
first tattoo fiesta.
Yeah.
Being able to do tooth candy, I was like promoting my salon, but then I was also like, hey, I'm a cosplayer. Yeah, and it just kind of went from there. You just start realizing you're networking with other
Mm.
artists and stuff and people that support you, and you're just like, cool. Like we can make this an ages 0 to 99 event. It really just depends on who's running the thing. But yeah, so it just turned into more of a thing. I started asking people, do you want to do birthday parties? Do you want me to show up? And it's really about talking because some of these girls that I meet that really want to dress up and dress pretty and they don't know how to network. And
Yeah.
they're like, well, how come I'm not busy? And I'm like, well, if you don't know how to talk, like no one's going to
I
talk to
think
you.
though nobody understands the.
Or you can pay for a manager. Like you can do that
You can do that.
kind of stuff, but we just don't live in that kind of generation anymore. I mean, look
Well,
at,
what I was gonna say is I think everybody has an idea of what they want it to look like, but not what it really is. And like I know you work full time at this. So
yeah.
it's quite a job. You have to put a lot in to get something out. And it's not just like, how come you're busy? What?
And I like the phrase, jack of all trades is a master of none, but no one really knows the rest of that phrase is, a master of many is still better than a master of one.
Hmm.
Because you can focus and put your focus on a million things and feel like, oh, I'm not excelling because I'm only doing a million and one things. I'm not focusing on the one thing. But, at the end of the day, if someone calls you in the middle of the night and they're like, hey, do you know anybody that does blah, blah, blah? And you could be like, well, I kind of do. And they're like, well, that works. That's enough. Like, cool.
Well, that's what everybody I actually got into a dispute with my spouse. He says, well, you gotta tell our son you have to crawl before you walk. And I said, don't say that.
Some
Because there's
people do.
actually yes, I said, and I think there's just many ways to
Hmm.
get a lot of things done.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and there was another phrase I saw recently where it said there's always more than this or that, when it comes to options. Like if you can broaden your mind to see like other avenues, then you don't
you're
feel
wearing. I'm
trapped.
sorry, but you're wearing a Santa Claus outfit. Do you do Miss Claus stuff?
I want to do I actually got this was Walmart. I was so funny. It's really funny how Walmart's getting better with their outfits, but
Well, they
I
were
was
like,
going to do
"Fuck,
Martha
Shein
May
Shein's
Huvier.
selling shit for like $5, so we should probably do better."
I was like, I did a Mrs. Claus. I did like a like I was handling the naughty list like for an act last year,
Oh,
and I
okay.
come out and I had like a giant piece of paper that says naughty list, and I wrote like some of my fans like names on it, and then I brought someone up from the crowd and like I had a flogger and I was like spanking them on stage, but not everybody's down to do that, but that's the joy of burlesque is like we tell people like, hey, if you're in the crowd and you don't want to be touched, like go in like vampire mode, like put your arms across your chest. Like I tell people go in fetal position so I really know you're uncomfortable. um
Does that
so
happen? Do they do?
no, but it's always funny because I always ask people like, hey, is it your first time? Raise your hand. Sometimes they don't even want to do that because they know that the spotlight's going to be put on them. But yeah, the whole point of burlesque is just for people to understand like it's the art of tease. It can be super classy, it can be super raunchy, it can be super comedic. That's what it really is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a comedic type of strip tease because why else would clothes be coming off in such a, interesting way unless it is a classy like, hey, I'm here to tease you type of
And
way,
I'm sure
which
there's different techniques for all the
yeah. And
different
the average
looks.
burlesque act now is between 3 to 5 minutes. Back in the day before TV and the websites and all kinds of media existed, burlesque acts at a cabaret show were 20 minutes long, and you could just sit there and you're watching an act for 20 minutes. Like that sounds
And
great.
back then, was it multiple girls or one girl, or was it vary? Did it vary?
So the typical burlesque cabaret kind of rule is like it's a solo, you can have a duet. Showgirl shows like what they had for like this is Jubilee for Vegas. This is a program showing you the names of all the dancers, the singers,
I saw that.
and
That's awesome. Guys.
there's what are they called? They're called mannequins. They're called adages. There's like different positions for showgirl shows because they have so many people standing just to stand and be pretty, and then there's like certain people that are
moving
performing.
and interacting. Okay.
And the difference between a showgirl and a burlesquer is a burlesquer wears pasties and a showgirl does not, because a showgirl is more of the classic like you're hired to wear the costume and you're hired for your body to be like to make that costume look amazing. And burlesque is more about you're here to show us.
But burlesque is also more interactive with the people versus showgirl stays on stage.
Showgirls definitely do stay on stage.
Okay, that's probably why
because it's more of a
pasties.
Yeah,
they're not.
And it's like, yeah, the pasties thing is just like an alcohol rule more than anything now. So the whole point of having a tassel, the history on why there's tassels is back in the day, like early 1920s and stuff, when the cops would walk by the bars and the clubs, if they saw that you're wearing a tassel, they didn't have to walk all the way in the club. They would just walk by and be like, oh, yeah, we see it. Okay, cool. Because the bar is so crowded, they don't want to walk through it. So it's funny because I have a picture of Jenny Lee. There's like a close-up showing her pasty, but it shows the underside. And you can see her nip is out. But because she puts the pasty up more to make her boobs look perky, if you're from far away and you're staring straight on, you can't see it because of the angle. So it's like everything's all about an illusion. Yep. Like I tell people my best magic trick is when I put on a face.
Well, I'm my like, fitness competitor stuff, you would be surprised all the super gluing that goes on behind the stage.
I'm like, this is just glue in a dream, baby. Like you're attracted to glue in a dream because once the lashes and the wig and the glitter comes off.
My first stage, they glue the bikini so it doesn't move, and I forgot, and I actually had won my first place that time, and I just ripped the panties off to take the P test, bro. I ripped like my first whole layer of skin off around the whole bikini line.
You're like, I ripped a whole layer of, like, you see the tan line difference of like the skin.
It was like,
oh my gosh.
I was like, damn, I'm pretty much.
Yeah, we use carpet tape.
Okay.
Or wig tape. If we carpet tape is like if it's really extreme. Some people, we have some different oils in our skin and our bodies that make us produce when we're stressed. We have different smells of sweat when we're stressed out. The backstage can just be so interesting sometimes.
What's the most interesting thing that's happened backstage?
Besides the smells, if it's just, we're stressed out, we're sweating,
What?
some people have like food for their props. I think the worst part is when people have food. I have a pizza act. So I show up for my April O'Neil, my Ninja Turtles act. I have a whole pizza, and I'll come backstage. And if I don't warn people that this is for my act, drag queens, all kinds of people, oh yeah, pizza, and they just start
Oh my
eating.
God.
Like, no, this is for
Has
my
that
act.
happened?
So yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, I mean,
Or-
there was only like 2 slices missing sometime, but I like had to I have put a sign every time now, like, do not eat poison.
You
Like
eat it after?
I put like poison just so they really don't, but just so they know it's for my act.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's funny.
What was the coolest booking you'd ever done? I'd seen you go all over the past 2 years.
Gosh, that's really hard. I actually just got some exciting news about
And that's the next question, but first this one.
I guess my coolest booking was being able to like finally go international and go to Utrecht, which is a medieval town outside of Amsterdam in Netherlands last year.
Thing.
Huh?
I've seen this. You posted this.
Yeah, I need to put I have a whole YouTube video of just like that whole trip because it's just so amazing. Just going to Europe is just like, it's mind boggling.
Oh yeah.
And like, I'm so nervous if I ever go to India or Indonesia or China because I'm like, that's going to be even more of a culture shock. They're just like eating bugs.
Do they, but like at those things, is it all the same? What would you say? Like they can't touch
burlesque
you?
community?
Is it the same like security? And how does that work?
Yeah,
is it all
it's
different, or
it's
like,
really similar because I mean the community itself is like, for me to get in an Uber in different cities and there's still some guy that's like, what's burlesque? It really humbles you and makes you realize like, holy crap, people still don't know what this is.
Oh yeah,
It's been around 100 years. People still don't know
like
what it
movies
is.
about it.
There's literally celebrities that base
There's
their
actually shows and
costumes off of burlesquers. Their music videos are based off of burlesque. It's like, how do you guys like not? They just don't know. They think, oh, you're a Vegas girl. You're a
like
Vegas
people
show girl.
think that we're still a part of Mexico.
Yeah,
It's the
no,
same. It's
that
the
too.
same thing.
So that's a good comparison to tell people, yeah, I live in New Mexico. They're like, where is that? They think Albuquerque's in Arizona. I can't tell you how many times people think I'm from Arizona.
When I was 19, I went to Denver. I worked out of state. I've also done some adult entertainment myself. So I'm out there, I'm talking to this guy, and he says, well, you guys still live in teepees?
Oh.
And then I just kind of like, I thought he was joking at first, and he was dead serious.
Wow.
And then he asked if we have Wi-Fi. And I was like,
yes, the sticks that stick out of the top of my teepee actually get me the best service.
I said, bro.
We have
in
LED lights.
Third grade, they did geography. Like, I'm just.
Yeah. We're right next to like other popular states next to Texas. I'm like, you don't know what Texas is? You don't know. Like, we're literally just a plug in between of all these
heard
popular.
about Four Corners. Like, I'm just
so weird.
Very confused. But yeah, so
yeah.
It's the same thing.
So I would say, but it was weird because when I was in Europe, people knew where I was from because why? Breaking Bad.
This is true. That
people
did help.
Absolutely. When you leave the country, people love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So I would just tell people, yeah, I'm from Breaking Bad, Albuquerque. I would say that, and it was just like instantly
they just knew.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was like,
I
okay. Yeah, I'm like, that's like over 10 years old for that one. But yeah, Amsterdam was really cool. Paris was really cool. I performed in the largest lesbian bar in Paris.
What was that? Was that fun?
It was just like so packed. Like they don't care about capacity.
Okay. Girls versus guys in as consumers.
See, for burlesque, it's very interesting because I feel like it always leans a little bit more women.
Like the more interested.
And then it's couples.
And
then you have single guys or like my fans, But it's like for the most part, I'm always a couples girl or a girl's girl. Like those are the people that are like screaming the most, throwing the most money. I'll have like one guy that's like, oh, I'm obsessed, and throws.
I feel like, do you get more attention from guys online?
It's always online.
Than you do,
yeah.
Because
guys are, they're always shy in person.
I know.
Yeah, they're always shy in person. The girls, they just go wild. They go ham, wild and out. So I actually, so my next big booking is my 3 boob act, where it's like known as space boobs is what I'm booked at. But I'll be at TD's in Fantasy World in March, debuting that here. I debuted it in Canada last year, and it was wild. Like, there's plenty of other girls that have the act,
Yeah.
but it's about how you do it. Like anybody can buy the outfit, anyone can be a three boob girl, but it's about what's your story. So my story is that I was fed up with not being able to get the surgery I wanted on planet Earth. So I like find this doctor that has this machine. He's going to give me the third boob to fill my cleavage. I get in the machine and then a fly flies in the machine on accident with me. So then I come out of the machine and I'm like a three boobed like space fly girl that's obsessed with eating bananas. So I'm like a fruit fly
How did you
banana.
come up with that? It's
So it's a whole,
crazy.
because I already have the fruit fly banana act, and that's what I went to Amsterdam with last year. And it was just supposed to be like a montage of like wacky Tim Burton-y type of things that like just live in my head rent free. Um, so I was just like, okay. And then my friend gave me the fly mask. I already had a banana situation going on because I was doing No Doubt Gwen Stefani impersonation. So I just like blended
I
all of
see
it.
that now that you're just said
Yeah,
that.
I just blended it all together and then added more like yellow details and like the
little
pasties
wings.
or bananas. But now I'm actually gonna change the pasties to be Chiquita stickers.
What are those?
The little like the dole, like the banana stickers that are on
Okay,
actual bananas. So I'm like,
Did
so
you
there's
have
like
someone?
little
Did you have
details.
someone make those?
Yes. These pasties I've had 7 years, and then there's like banana earrings, but
I know it's so pretty. Let me think.
and then Looking Glass Gems is like where I get the gems from. And then the actual pasties, there's Pick Your Poison Arts. She's here in town. Her name's Cookie. She makes them. With tassels, without, you can get assels. Those are pasties for your butt. And if you know how to twerk properly and find your like that little side gluteus medius muscle, it like can have them spinning really good, but you got to know, you can't just slap them on. So everything is definitely a skill. You can buy things all you want, but you still got to, practice.
Well, yeah, you're gonna be in front of a bunch of people.
Well, I mean, sometimes, you get a little wild hair and you're like, I'm going to try this tonight. And
Wait. Did you tell us about the future gig?
future gig. Well, that is the one that I'm doing the space boobs. That's
yep,
here in
yep,
town.
yep,
But then I just got booked for
Yes, that's the one.
my new act, my Vampira act with my big feather fans.
Okay.
That just got booked to go to Holland for April for my birthday.
That
So
is very cool.
I'm super excited about that. And
so in between all of these, what do you have to do things for income, or do you just do things to get money on the side? Is it just a
so I try to do merch, but it's not much of the merch that is really the big seller for me. It's more of like the behind the scenes and the classes. And
I think the classes would probably be good for you, right?
Classes are always fun because it's like I can either teach on modeling or I can teach on social media, like how you can present yourself, separating your burlesque life from like your personal. Some people don't care. I think that's better actually, because we just live in this day and age of like authenticity, and it's just kind of hard to build a following if you're not
real
giving your fans like everything of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But you're wanting them to like pay your bills and support you or whatever. So yeah, some people, I literally have like my websites where I'll either stream, I'll dance, I'll go online.
6.
Some people just want to see new photo shoots and stuff that I collab with other models and other cosplay things. So yeah, it's different gigs here and there, but the acting thing is something that's been picking up more with like Netflix in between. If I can get like I did a Rita Ora movie a couple months ago, a Jordan Peele like background.
I'm super proud of Albuquerque because they've made the casting crews so accessible to everybody. Mm-hmm. And now like there's a lot of talent out here that doesn't get showcased because there's just so much bad that gets showcased instead. Right. So now people like you can utilize the film industry.
Yeah, and I try to, tell people like there's this one show I was on called Obliterated, and they promoted the heck out of that show in Vegas. Like driving down the strip and I was seeing the commercial or the little promo. I was like, wow. I was like, they really want to promote this. And it's kind of like a Hangover knockoff type of show, and it didn't do well. They were going to do a second season. It was the creators of Cobra Kai, and I was kind of bummed for them because it was like really good production, like really cool set that was the coolest set I've worked on. But Netflix shows are just hit and miss. It just depends on how people are going to take it. And I've done like a couple other little projects here and there. I did a commercial for this amazing mocktail company called Free Spirits that they are based out of San Francisco. I'm going to
Okay.
be getting some samples soon. So you can try, but they have like a
Down.
Moscow mule and like a Kentucky bourbon mule and a margarita, and
Very
it
cool.
just tastes so real, but it has B6 and B12, so it's like more
That's the
energizing.
opposite.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I did a commercial where we were out in San Francisco, like handing out hugs, and people were like, "Did that feel good?" And they were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Well, this will feel good too," like a mocktail. Trying to get people to understand like you don't need alcohol to feel good or to have a good time. Um, yeah. So I do little projects in between like that just to kind of like tie in the burlesque and the modeling to make it a little bit more like realistic for people to understand like, yes, I do dress really fancy. Um but at the end of the day, we're still out here working and having to do like multiple things to pay the bills because it's like,
I feel like any entertainment job at this point, after speaking to so many people, it's a multiple hustle
yeah.
gig.
Well, I mean, and look at like I grew up around the music industry a lot with my parents and living in Vegas, and a lot of their friends were
Musician.
yeah, and their guitars are 2 to 5 grand. But the
Yeah.
gigs they're getting are like a
Dude,
hundred
like if you
dollars or two
really
hundred
want to
dollars.
be a rapper or you want to be a country
Yeah.
singer, you got to
So
pay
you
for
have to
studio
invest in your
time.
stuff.
Like,
People, and it's like with cosplay, yes, we can make stuff out of cardboard. Yes, we can make stuff out of duct tape and foam. You can do, and I try to bring that side, the cheap, affordable side to burlesque because I do think it is a little gatekeepy and unattainable and inaccessible for new performers to try to feel their best in burlesque when they don't have the
probably
financial
can't.
access. And it's like, if I can make you a pair of fans out of foam and the audience doesn't know they're made out of foam and you hear the audience roaring at the end of your act, then that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's this issue right now where we are seeing so much online and like, yes, it's this, yes, this is so fancy, but then people are like, oh, but it's 5 grand, so like I'll never be that great of a performer. And I'm like, you know what, like in the cosplay scene I have seen full on builds of like a Halo costume and it was just like made out of plasti dip and foam, and I'm like, okay, cool. That looked like a $5,000 costume and it's not. So that's my goal with like some of my classes
Wait,
that I have
you were
coming
gonna
up.
talk about that with
Yeah.
these corsets that you brought.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, I brought some corsets so we can see the difference on that. But yeah, so the classes are basically what I like to do is like half hands-on, and then half is like, more of the intellectual of like the behind the scenes and like learning about legends and stuff. But yeah, so I try to really bring an aspect that anybody can enjoy burlesque, whether it's like you're just showing up just to do one class or you actually do want to do it for a couple years or you want to make a career out of it. um you have to have a supportive partner. The end. I'm like,
the end.
yeah, I'm like, if anyone's listening, how do I get my husband to be okay with it? Just turn this off right now.
Don't even try.
Don't
It's just
don't ask me that.
the questions are gonna come out
I
later.
divorced my first husband for burlesque. So end of story. He was just not. He was like, "What am I gonna tell my parents?" And I'm like, "Well, tell them we're getting divorced."
Well, first of all, you sound confident when you tell them. Don't come to them like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a job and it's been done for years. It's not like
I've done a lot of adult entertainment. I did it for 13 years, and it's hard to talk to. Anyway, it takes a special person. I can tell you too, like every man in the beginning is like, I'm in full support of it. I don't get
because
jealous.
they think it's so cool.
Yeah, and then
Then they
and
realize
you're looking
the
at them
details.
like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, don't look behind the curtain.
Yes.
Don't walk behind the curtain, please. Because it looks really nice.
There's really nothing. Yeah, I'm
From
gonna
the
just look at the
outside.
photos that I post, and that's good. No, but it is, and I
hate when like I meet somebody and they think that they can try to get involved with like how I should do things.
Yeah,
and
or they try to like. I mean,
I'm like, I've been doing this before I met you. I don't.
I
need
feel
your
like
input.
they, and this is bad to say it, but I feel like when I talk to people, they try to get involved, and it turns into like, this isn't dress up.
Yeah,
I'm not like I'm not out here trying to just. This is work. How, I
And
don't
I'm
know how
not
else to
like
say it.
here lost and all of a sudden your opinion is like the savior I've
I
been
don't need
waiting
that.
for. Like I don't know why you
I've
thought
already been doing this. I already have
mhm,
my connections. You already
mhm.
have your scheduling, your how you book
I think
gigs.
they just
Like,
get excited because they're like, I've never met anybody like this before, so I could totally just find a way to network with this. It's like, yes, we can, but like, let's make our own thing. Don't try to like twist my thing and make it yours and just slap my name on it like we collabed. Like we collabed or something, but it was really just you designing like everything, and I'm just here
like a
being
dollhouse.
exhausted like a
No, 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 yeah,
cow
yeah.
on the farm. Just please. Um, how much time do we have left? What do
I'm
we
looking
want to
right
do?
now. We have 10 minutes, but I was going to ask you two questions.
Yeah.
One question that I wanted to ask you, I ask everybody this. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self something, what would you be? What would you tell yourself? And what age do you think you would be?
Mm. I used to ask that question on a radio show that I did with my ex. So I will answer it.
Now you have to answer it.
Yeah. Um, I would tell myself, like, don't stress so much in one day because, like, it's just the next day just happens.
Just keeps going.
Yeah. Because there was just so many days where I would just, like, the whole entire day, I would just let it be
Bugged by this.
completely bugged out over something, and then it's just like, wow, you just go to bed and you wake up the next day and it's something else. So like there's no point.
Just go figure it out. Like,
Yeah,
just go
just
with
figure
it
it
and
out.
try and come up with a solution.
And like be upset about something, like process it if you need to be upset, if you need to cry, if you need to talk to somebody. I think there was a lot of times where I would just sit by myself with something because I didn't want to bother anybody of like, hey, like I
Did
don't
you
want to.
find someone to talk to now, or do you feel
Yeah,
like you
I
found a
think
way to
it's more about
cope?
like realizing it's okay to ask for help instead of ruminating in your head like, oh, I don't want to bother anybody. Cause it's like that was always, I feel like that's me and a lot of my friends. Our biggest problem is like, we're all busy. We don't want to bug anyone. We all have kids. We all have, 3 million jobs and projects and deadlines we're late on. And it's just like, oh, now I went through something. I'm stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire and I don't want to call anybody. And it's like just three people. Just think of like three people. A
Beautiful.
lot of my friends are out of state, so it gets hard for me sometimes where I'm just like, cool, I really am on my own. I just recently got a haircut a couple weeks ago. I've never had my hair this short.
That's great.
And I called my thank you. I called my friend in Temecula. She's like outside of San Diego. And I was like, I'm freaking out. I don't know who I am. And like I was just in the car. And she was out lunch with her mom and
Why? Because
like
your
at
hair?
Popeyes.
Because
And
your hair?
I FaceTimed her. I was like, do I look stupid? Like, dude, just tell me, do I look stupid? Like I was freaking out. I've never had my hair this
Oh, it looks
short.
good.
So
I
it
feel
was
like I've known
funny.
you for a long time, and you've had a lot of hairstyles.
Yeah.
And then you wear the wigs sometimes, so
Right.
I'm like,
And
so
then
she
people
used to
would
come up
see
to
my
me and be
real
like, I'm
hair.
Harley Quinn, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I follow you, but you don't
At
look like
some
this
like
online.
cannabis event, like trying to get people to remember me. I'm like,
And then
yeah,
from the Harley Quinn also to the prior Steph that I knew is also a different look. So
mm-hmm.
it was all a very,
Mm-hmm.
it's very cool to see the different looks that you bring to stage and to your acts and all that stuff.
Yeah, I try to the costume chameleon is kind of like my tagline or the sweetest peaks in the
Yeah, you had a
Southwest.
ton, and you just told me the other one's a vampire one and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's a fun time and it's like it just helps. It's kind of like when you see like there's certain kids at Comic Cons like I'll never see their face because they're more comfortable wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like being able to be this character. It's almost like being Mickey Mouse at Disneyland is like people are excited to
Yeah.
see you because you're
They take
dressed
those
up.
jobs pretty serious at Disneyland.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like if you're not in character, people don't care. They still see my wig and they still see my makeup. And so they're already automatically like 90% like stoked. But as soon as I smile back at them, then they're 100% stoked,
Yeah.
So it's like when I put that outfit on, I just have to know like no matter what, people are excited to see me. And sometimes people aren't, because sometimes people don't literally know what burlesque means. I start taking stuff off and they're like, oh God, Earl's gonna see a boob, like, and they're
Really?
yeah,
That's
there's
so-
women, sometimes men, they think it's just a girl walking around with feather fans.
That's why
They don't know stuff is gonna come off because they've seen the movie Burlesque, and in the movie Burlesque, no clothes come off. It's
Oh,
just
really?
literally seeing.
Damn it. I
It's the
was gonna
worst
go
one.
watch it this weekend 'cause I
Don't
just no, I'm
watch
just
it.
kidding.
So then I think Moulin Rouge actually has more burlesque. Um, so then it's like, if I see somebody get uncomfortable and turn their head right away when I take stuff off, I don't pay attention to them anymore. I'm like, I'm done. Some performers take it as a challenge and they're like, oh, I'm going to get up all night. I'm like, I'm not here for that. I'm not here to challenge anybody. I'd
Like,
rather
not to pay
find
attention to the people that are negative, pay attention to the people
one of
that
my
are
favorite
cute.
performers in Vegas, Raquel Reed. She used to be at Absinthe. She's from like the MySpace days. She even said herself, there were nights she'd be performing at Caesar's Palace. Going out into the crowd, these are like $300 seats. There's going to be someone who doesn't want to see her take her clothes off. She's ripped, she's hot, and she's out there taking off the gorilla suit. And she says she would just look for somebody in the crowd that was having a good time and gravitate towards that person because they're automatically already into you. So why and it really helped me realize like
But
I don't need
also,
to challenge those people.
I
It's
feel
kind of
it
like
feeds
people
it
pleasing.
also
Like we
feeds
don't
the
need to go after
atmosphere,
that.
though, for other people to be
Mhm.
happy as well
Yeah.
versus feeding the negativity where
Yeah,
they're
like
gonna be, like,
why
mean
give
to
the
you
negative
or
Nancy the
Mhm,
attention when the rest of the room is like so excited to
You're
see
like, "I
me?
don't wanna jump at this.
Yeah.
Go over here."
So I try to tell new performers that like you're gonna have people that don't know what's going on. You just spent 6 weeks rehearsing and stoning and doing all this stuff to your costume, and there's gonna be one lady out there that's gonna totally make you cry all night. It's gonna happen. It happens when you start burlesque. You're gonna be like, that person didn't like her. This snagged, and I feel dumb because it took me 5 minutes to get it off. It's like it feels like 5 minutes when something's like
But
jammed.
it's not really.
And in that moment, we do rip our costumes on stage. If a button or something's not working, we just like the adrenaline kicks
You could
in.
fix it later, though.
Girl, we
I
just
mean
tear it. Yeah.
I mean, you know how to, so it's like
Yeah.
after a while, you'll probably have
Unless it's a
stuff.
really expensive something or another, then we're kind of like, eh.
You're like
And then that's when you'll see the performer leave something
Oh,
on
okay.
because it's that expensive that like no, or it's vintage,
Meaningful. It's sentimentals, though.
Yeah.
They have a reason.
So if something really happened, I would say the worst thing I've ever seen was headliner Frankie Fictitious was on stage at the chemo, was it 2 years ago? And she has this act. It's Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses. She's a lion. She has this pull string effect where she pulls the string, her outfit comes off. Okay. And beautifully, right? As soon as that happens, her music restarted. And she had to like do just random, like she just started
How to
spinning.
make it up until
She just literally had to make it up. She had a whole minute and a half to burn again. It was like she just did the most epic reveal, and then now she just had to twirl and she had to figure it out. And that's a complete professional Miss Exotic world.
But nobody knows that you messed up except
Nobody
for
knows.
you.
Yep,
So
that's
you
it.
just keep going.
Yep.
You just do it, and then any
Yeah, it was like me and like 5 other, hardcore
Yeah.
Frankie fans that like we know the act.
Well,
like, we
but you
know.
do it.
Yeah.
And not people don't do it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
And she's a pro. And it was just,
Yeah.
and I want her, I wish she would talk about that more, but I do have video of it. So I'm like, I might just upload it to YouTube and title it like the most amazing moment where Miss Exotic
Yeah.
World, Frankie Fictitious, had to restart her act and still pulled it off. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. It was just, but mess ups happen like that. And then you're like, all right, well.
On stage, it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming to an end now, so I wanted to say thank you. We're gonna go over
Thank
these
you.
more.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little video for the gram.
So we'll get that posted up for you guys. And thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, and if anybody wants more info, you can go to stephsugar.com or harley505.com.
Absolutely.
And I'll have class info, show info, and yeah, find me online.
Awesome. Find her online, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.